on. Just let me get my headphones on, all right? Hang on. Okay, now, speakerphone. Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. So this is a test. You're upstairs, and you took your cell phone, and you phoned downstairs, and I'm holding the phone up to the microphone, and say something.
Oh, okay. Dinner's almost ready.
Uh-huh. What are we having for dinner?
Chicken cordon bleu.
I love chicken cordon bleu. Of course, I love anything that's edible.
What was that?
Well, that was me laughing.
No, there was some squeal.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe feedback from the microphone?
Maybe.
Could be.
It
Anyways.
sounded like a bird squawking.
Oh, is that right? Well, I do sound like a bird squawking on occasions.
Occasionally, yes.
Okay, so when's dinner ready?
It's pretty sad when we have to communicate through telephone when we're in the same house.
I know. So I'm going to do a podcast now. So what time's dinner ready?
How long will you take for the podcast?
Oh, probably 20 minutes.
Oh, that's about right.
Okay?
Yep.
Love ya.
Love you too.
Okay, bye. See, now, wasn't that neat? I saw that little trick from another podcaster. I was flipping through the channels, about a year and a half ago, and I saw that they did that. They put it on speakerphone, they held it up to the microphone, and I thought, well, how silly. But then I thought, would that actually work? And I'll be darned, it does work. So podcasters, if you're out there and you want a cheap way of, say, for example, the other person isn't really technical, and you try to get them on Skype and it just doesn't work. Things are falling apart. Get them to phone you, put it on speakerphone, hold the speakerphone up to the microphone, and you've got an instant podcast. Now, you're going to have to take that sound recording and doctor it up with either the program Audacity or Pamela, or what I use here in the studio is Camtasia. I love Camtasia. It does video, it does audio, it does call-outs, transitions, it does swipes, it does the whole 9 yards. I'm about up to updating Camtasia now. I've got Camtasia 6. Now I have to go and get Camtasia 7. Think about this, we're always paying for technology that we have to upgrade. Isn't that true? And when you're in a business, now, Eflexonics is all about helping the business owner understand and use technology, what's good, what's out there, what works. And this show is all about doing that, showing you little tips and tricks about doing podcasts over the air. But I got to tell you, I just recently had one of the best experiences of my life concerning our business. We have hired a business coach, and her name is Deborah Reynolds. Now, we've known Deborah for a couple of years. I have personally gone to a couple of her business boot camps, and I was extremely impressed with the level of professionalism. And Deborah is a contributor in a book. Let me hold this up. It's called Living in Clarity. I don't know if you're getting a lot of glare from the high definition lights there. It's called Living in Clarity, and she's right up there. Look at this, with people like Dr. Wayne Dyer is in this book. Anthony Robbins is in this book. Dr. Ormond Mata is in this book. The list goes on and on and on. It's just, so Deborah's in this book, and it's an amazing book, and I would highly suggest you get it. It's called Living in Clarity, and there's all the authors, the contributing authors on the front. You can get it from Little Seed Publishing, Laguna Beach, CA. Pick it up in the USA and in Canada at your favorite bookstore. Now, let me get down to the meat and potatoes of this particular broadcast, because, of course, you know, Eflexonics is all about building a business and using technology. I want to tell you about the experience that I had, my wife and I had with Deborah Reynolds. When you go to build a business this day and age, there is just so much to get lost in. You've got your planning stage, you've got your business plan, you've got your goals, you've got the financing, you could be looking after an elderly relative, you've got a mortgage payment, you've got kids in school, they're maybe going to college, or maybe going to university, maybe you're empty nesters. You've got a lot on your plate. Actually, today, the stress level for people is so much that just even thinking about getting into the business, turning your passion into something that you love to collect money with, may be enough to keep people away from doing their purpose. See, if you ask people, why do you want to open up a business? A lot of them will say, I want control. I want to do the very thing that I love to do, the very passionate, the thing that I can't wait to get up and do. But I'm stuck in a dead-end job. I'm stuck in a job I hate. I'm stuck in a ho-hum job. And I just never get around to building my business legacy. Well, that's exactly where a business coach needs to come into your life. And I'm telling you, right here and now, Deborah is such a great leader, and she's got a lot of punch, pizzazz. She's dynamic. She's professional. She's a go-getter. She expects you to get things done. And one of the very first things, and I appreciate this, one of the very first things she told us is, together, my wife and I run this business together, to get the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And she said, and I've heard this before too, she said, you got to read this book about 50 times. Now, I don't expect you to go out and read it 50 times for you to get the message. But she said, over the course of your business growth, you should read it about 50 times. That's suggested, until the ideas, the concepts, the realities soak in. Here's a little trick that I do. It's kind of embarrassing. When I read a book, have you see this? Everything's underlined. If I see a really good chapter, a really good sentence, I'll say, oh, that's really good, and I underline it with a pen. And there are entire chapters, there are entire chapters that are underlined, because this book is so very, very important. So let's get down to it. You want to start your own business. You got the guts enough, the intuition enough, you got the drive enough. You may not have, or you think you may not have, the education, the timing's wrong, the economy's in the wrong place. You know what? Enough of the excuses. If you're going to start a business, and this is the truth, allow your passion to take you all the way around all of those excuses. Now, you have one excuse, and that is you're going to let yourself down if you don't live your dream and your passion. There's a whole bunch of books I want to go through, and I have a space on the website, Rick's recommended reading list. And what I'll do is I will take one particular book every couple of weeks, and I will do a little 10 or 15-minute podcast on it. As a matter of fact, here's one that's called Building a WordPress Blog People Want to Read. I love that book. Get a lot of mileage out of that book. Getting a business coach is so important to you, and I'll tell you why. When you take a look at all the things that it takes and all the different ways that you have to divide your attention in order to run your business, it's too much. You'll feel overwhelmed. You're going to get scattered. What a business coach does, especially a good business coach like Deborah, if she comes into your lives and she says, look, do you want to open up a business? Let's not forget about the personal side. If you're not happy personally, what makes you think you're going to be happy business-wise? So first, she wants you to move you from the known, what you know, into the unknown, and everybody has to go through that process if you own a business. You got to be slightly uncomfortable. You got to slightly push yourself. I've always lived by a couple of really, really good sayings. And one is, for things to change, you have to change. And for things to get better, you have to get better. I love that. And then there was another one when I was at the call center that I used to teach all of the technicians, because they would come to me visibly shaken and upset when a customer was yelling at them and swearing. And I would say, never give anyone the authority to upset you. Sometimes it's very, very difficult. But if you're going to open up a business, think about this. Say you're a painter, and you're going to create this wonderful Mona Lisa. You don't exactly know the fine, minute details. Well, let the business coach help you hold the brush and help you paint it. That's what they're there for. They're there to ask you some extremely important questions. They're there to pick apart what you thought was a great plan and say, okay, so what does it look like over here? And what's it going to really take to do this and to put this into practice and to put this in motion? And they give you homework. And they say, look, if you're really, really serious about this, these are the areas that you must concentrate in, because it's been proven. And all these professional people, well, I'll give you another example. If you're a natural-born salesman, a natural-born business leader like Donald Trump, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But if you're an average, everyday person with a lot of passion that really wants to open up a business, get yourself a business coach. Never forget the power of somebody that loves to do what they do. And I'll tell you what, Deborah Reynolds absolutely loves to see a business come to fruition and a business succeed. She loves networking with people. She loves getting you connected. She loves picking apart all of the little things that are slightly out of place. And by my mind, she works at the slight edge principle. Any little thing that she can do to help you, to put those little pins in place, to help you get over yourself so you can succeed. Because being in business is just as much about attitude as it is about anything else. You have to change the way you feel about money. You know, it was funny. About 7 years ago, I saw a TV show or a radio show or something. And the speaker was reading a book, has written a book, and said, if your mom and dad was terrible with handling money, you will likely feel the same way. You get that same kind of attitude. They could never have enough. They were just getting by. They were just scraping by. And maybe that's what's holding you back. You see, building a business has a lot to do with belief systems as well. So you have to get to the point where you say, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then pound that into your mind. And then as you become credible, as you become more legitimate with yourself, as you become more honest with yourself as a business owner, you can say, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. Now, what obstacles do I have to go around? Consider the obstacles just a bump in the road or just something that you have to go around. You're going to have to compete with your own negative ideas. You're going to have to compete with negative people. You're going to have to compete with the people who say, oh, they've tried that. It'll never work. I just did a podcast a couple of days ago about a woman that is the most magnificent cook you have ever seen. And she's written 2 fully complete cookbooks, and they're in print. She had them professionally bound, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. Do you think I could convince her to publish those cookbooks? No. It's because she's not ready yet. And that's okay. Because when she decides to become ready, she will take the next step, and she can become just fabulously successful doing cookbooks. She has just this natural gift. And you know, for as well as I do, that when, and you know this inside, when you start following your natural gifts, skills, and abilities, a whole bunch of doors suddenly start opening up. You've noticed that in the past. I'm sure you have. But you need a business coach, in my opinion, to accelerate the things. Now, say, for example, you didn't have a business coach and you opened up a business. And you were doing okay with that. If you brought a business coach in it, your 5-year plan could be condensed down to a 2-year plan. Because a business coach will see the weak areas in your marketing strategy, in your business development plan, in your presentation and all that kind of stuff, and say, these are the areas we really have to work at. And they will bring in a scope of tools and abilities and skills that will help you accelerate your... Let me put it this way. I'm giving you a whole bunch of examples. I'm throwing a whole bunch of stuff at you. A business coach, if they're doing their job properly, they are there to take stress away from you, not to create stress. They're there to push you out of your comfort zone, but they're also going to make sure that you succeed in business. So I would highly recommend that if you're looking for a business coach, Deborah Reynolds, and I'll put the link to her webpage on the bottom of this little podcast, give her a call. And also one of the other books that she recommends is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Very, very good book. And I've also got Tom Peters in Pursuit of Wow. So there's some reading that you need to do. It's a, think of it this way, a lifelong learning experience. You have to become a student of what you're passionate about. When you do that, everything, you know this, everything just magically falls into place, doors open up, you talk to people that you haven't talked to for years, and things start happening for you. But remember, there are a couple of levels that you have to be prepared for. You have to be prepared emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, just to decide, okay, I'm going to do this business. It's just like this business. We started out with a couple of podcast shows. Geek News Central, Todd Cochran over Hawaii, he said, submit your proposal, and if I like your proposal, I will sponsor your show. We won a sponsorship. So he is sponsoring our show for 1 year. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that very much. And that is the beginning. that is the bump that I needed to say, hey, this is feasible. This could really work. I'm really excited. Let's take it to the next level. So this is Rick Haaland for eFlexonics. I'm glad you came back and taking a look at our other podcast. Oh, by the way, I just did a podcast. I think it's podcast number 5 or 6 with Brian O'Keefe. If any of you want to start a home-based business cleaning computers, that is a huge area. Check out the podcast from the computer hygienist. He's doing training, and for the next 60 days, if you want to take his training course, he's going to knock off $500 off of the price. Go take a look and watch the video and let us know what you think by giving us an email to eflexonics@gmail.com. Folks, thank you so much for coming to the podcast show again, and we'll talk to you next show. Take care. Bye-bye.